For more than 3 centuries, people gathered at this site to discuss and debate important ideas that shape the Connecticut we know today. Constructed over 200 years ago, this building replaced the original 1720 State House built on this same site. The original State House was made from wood. It caught fire during celebrations marking the end of the American Revolution. Though the building was repaired and continued to be used, by the 1790s, the state government needed more space and began plans for a new building. Constructing a large public building like the State House cost a lot of money. The state had to buy materials like wood and paint and pay workers as well. It took donations from prominent citizens, a state lottery, and the work of Jeremiah Halsey to finally pay for the cost of construction. For the next 82 years, the people of Connecticut debated the leading issues of the day in this building. Deliberations over freedom and equality, along with more everyday issues, such as taxes, roads, and commerce. Governors and legislators, men like Noah Webster, Tapping Reeve, Jonathan Trumbull Jr., Marshall Jewell, P.T. Barnum, and Gideon Wells, passionately debated these issues and worked to improve our state of Connecticut. Additionally, average citizens, people like you and me, participated in the governing of the state. Citizens voted in elections, protested, wrote letters to their legislators, testified before committees, and ran for office. The General Assembly, also called the state legislature, met at Connecticut's Old State House for the first time on May the 13th of 1796. At that time, the legislative branch consisted of the House of Representatives and the Governor's Council. The House contained 175 members. A Speaker of the House and 2 clerks ran the meetings. Across the hall, the Governor ran the meetings for the 12-member Council. In 1818, the Council became known as the Senate. In the late 1700s, governors possessed little real power. While governors only served a 1-year term, they were often re-elected several times in a row. It wasn't until 1820, 24 years after the building's completion, when Governor Oliver Wolcott Jr. had an official office in the building. As the governors gained power, their term of office was lengthened to a 2-year term in 1875 and a 4-year term in 1950.
All rise.
Connecticut's Old State House also accommodated the judicial branch. The Supreme Court of Errors was at the time the highest court in Connecticut and had the power to review the decisions made by lower courts.
Oyez, oyez, oyez. The Honorable Supreme Court of the State of Connecticut is now open and in session in this place.
The opening hearings of the famous Amistad trial were held here in 1839 before moving to New Haven, Connecticut, and then on to the United States Supreme Court. The land on which the Old State House stands has always played an important role in the development of Hartford and Connecticut. A 17th century meeting house, used for social, civic, and religious meetings, once sat on this location. Hartford's founder, the Reverend Thomas Hooker, preached a sermon there that became the foundation of the Fundamental Orders, considered by some to be Connecticut's first constitution. In it, Hooker laid the groundwork for democracy in Connecticut by declaring,
"The foundation of authority is laid in the free consent of the people."
He meant that the people of Connecticut, the citizens, should have the last word when it came to governing themselves. From 1701 until 1873, Connecticut had 2 state capitals, one in Hartford and the other by the shoreline in New Haven. This unusual arrangement resulted from the 1662 Royal Charter, in which the King of England merged 2 small colonies, New Haven and the Hartford or Connecticut colony, into one larger colony. The legislature alternated their meetings between the 2 cities until 1873, when Hartford became the sole capital. 5 years later, the government moved to the current state capitol building, less than a mile from here. During the 82 years of this building's service to the state, the people charted Connecticut's course through difficult years of building a new nation following the Revolution, up through the Civil War. The story of Connecticut's Old State House is the story of Connecticut's people. People like you and me who made the state and continue to make it what it is today.